Hello, and here we are in the month of August, and we are still talking about COVID-19. We are still treating patients with COVID-19, and we are still concerned that everyone has the proper PPE. So with me today is Michael Mutterer, our Chief Nursing Officer, who I think has really met many, many people in the organization, and Meg Trimby, who is the Director of Materials Management. And Meg and her team, the purchasing team, have done just a remarkable job, I would say a magical job, in making sure that all of you are safe and that our patients are safe and that we have the proper PPE. And they've done so since our very first case in March. But the pandemic is still happening. I'm sure you read the papers, and in Will County, our positivity rate is going up, and we have to make sure that we have the proper PPE while we're taking care of patients in the hospital. So one of the things that you guys were very successful in doing is getting isolation masks and gowns and gloves and everything else that we needed. And I'm wondering, Meg, before the pandemic, how many isolation masks do we use a day?
You're using on an average about 50 masks a day.
Before the pandemic?
Before.
And how many do we use now?
2,500 a day on an average.
Can you imagine 2,500? And you've been able to source the masks and the N95s?
Definitely. We've been able to. We've been very fortunate. We've found a lot of different vendors and have worked through the process.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough. So not always available, but we get them when we can and grab hold as many as we can.
Yeah. And we're only one hospital. So of all the almost 5,000 hospitals in the United States and the nursing homes and congregate living, everyone needs this PPE. It's not just us, and you've been able to source it.
Correct. It's tough, but there are vendors that are coming forth with a lot of materials for us. Not what we're always accustomed to getting, but
yeah,
they are serve the purpose, definitely.
So that's what we want to talk about today, this. And would you say before the pandemic, how many isolation gowns did we use on a daily basis?
Only about 30 a day. There wasn't the need.
Yeah. And Michael, which ones were the isolation gowns that were commonly used here?
Yeah, so we typically, prior to the pandemic, were using a product through Medline, and it was a different material than what we're sourcing right now because that product is no longer available. So we have seen a change in what we are.
So it was the
use.
Yellow paper
Correct.
gowns that we were able just to put on really easily.
Correct.
And I know you have searched high and low, but what happened with the vendor? Why don't we get the yellow gowns anymore?
The raw materials. It's just a matter of that, and that's true for any vendor, any manufacturer. It's the raw materials that are needed to make the more cloth feel type gowns that we're accustomed to. That's just not available in that. So you're seeing everybody converting to the more plasticky, hot, uncomfortable gowns, but that's what's out there. We can't do anything about it. That's the only thing they can get, and that's the only thing, the materials they have available to produce the volume that we need.
Right. So it's not a question of not being willing to spend the money.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, these are probably more expensive than the other ones.
Everything is way more expensive.
Yeah, yeah. So, Michael, do you want to show me
Sure.
what this is all about and how to use it?
Yeah, sure. So really, all of the gowns are packaged pretty similarly, but the difference here, I mean, like Meg said, these are plastic in nature versus the more cloth feel that we used to have. But these open up, and you can see that there's an opening to the back. As you put this on, the first thing you want to do is put it over your head. So your head kind of fits through the gown.
Yeah.
Yeah,
here.
There you go. There's the opening. Yep. And then your hands will slide through, your arms will slide through, and there's actually a little notch.
This is like running shirts.
Yeah, it is. Exactly, yeah. So you are able to catch your thumb in each of the arms, which really protects that. So once you put a glove over the top of this then, and you're able to tie these in the back, it really does provide a good protection. Now, one of the things that we're hearing is that these are hot. I mean, unfortunately, that is one of the things. I mean, they're hot, but they provide the necessary protection to keep all of our staff safe.
Right.
And so that's really
that really is
piece.
the most important thing. I can see where people would feel awkward in these and maybe a little uncomfortable, but we have to use them.
We have to use them.
And thank you for finding them
Yes.
for us so that we
Yes.
can stay safe. And Meg, anything you want to add about supplies? And
No, I mean,
what we're gonna
everything,
do?
every day's a struggle. I mean, you keep in mind that prior to COVID, we were using a single vendor probably for 90% of all of our PPE materials. Now we're having to source everything from at least 20 different
my
vendors. And it's an everyday event because they use it up. It'll take them 2 months to get another stock. So you have to find another vendor that has stock on hand. So it's not, you're not always going to see the same thing. The boxes are going to be different. The colors are going to be different. But we're trying to make sure, and they all are FDA approved. That's one thing that we absolutely make certain of.
So we don't buy from somebody who's got a guy.
No, we don't buy from, we hear a lot of those opportunities, but no, we're using reputable vendors, and we are asking for the FDA approved licensures and certificates that they get.
And I think you also did something pretty innovative with Medline in terms of securing our future.
Yeah, Medline provided this opportunity for actually all of their primary clients, and we were able to sign on a contract that is guaranteeing us a certain percentage of PPE materials. For right now, we've got it through the end of November, and they'll keep doing extending those as they get materials ramped up. The other thing that they just did, we just had the meeting this morning, in fact, is for masks, because we're going through so many, they actually started a new manufacturing of masks, and we signed a contract with them for that as well, so that we'll have a complete access to masks and not have to worry about it. Actually, it's for 3 years.
Oh, that's great. So I think the message is, the bad news is these are hot. The good news is we have them, and we have a team under Meg's direction who is securing the PPE, has kept us safe from the very beginning, and will continue to do so. So thank you. And thank you, Michael, for helping me learn how to put on a gown
Yeah,
properly.
and Meg, thank you and your team. I mean, from the bottom of our heart, I mean, we are so appreciative to have all the PPE. And, you know, again, we know it's not easy, but we appreciate how you help to keep us safe every single day.
And the staff are doing a great job on not only getting it, but getting it up to the floors and getting it off the dock and stuff. I mean, everybody's working really hard to make sure that we keep on top of it.
We thought we'd be done, but we're not.
No, I don't think you're going to be done for a while.
Thank you.
Thank you.